Hey guys, long time no Q&A. I thought it would be fun to do this. It's been a long, I don't think I've done one since last summer. I meant to do them quarterly. What happened? Where did the time go? But this is basically where I'm going to answer some of your questions. I usually reach out on my Facebook page for that. If you're wondering, like, if you only follow me on Instagram or on Twitter or, you know, one of the other places, or on YouTube, and you don't know how you can get a question answered, I usually do it on my Facebook page for Pretty Neat Living, because it's just a little bit easier for me to keep track of, just the way that the formatting is. It's just easier for me to like go through them with you guys, and I don't know, it seems a little less overwhelming for some reason there than trying to like pick them out through Instagram comments or YouTube comments or whatever. Anyway, also, did you notice I'm sitting in a different place? I know it's a little dark. It's because we have so many windows, but I wanted to try. I've got my ring light up and I wanted to try sitting here, but maybe I might be just a little bit dark. Let me fix this. So I just thought, you know, film somewhere else for a little variety this week. Anyway, I've got something like 75 questions or something. I just posted about this morning, but I like to answer as many as I can. I will try not to answer too many that I've already talked about before, but I might touch on some of them if there's just a lot of people are asking them, because some people might just be joining in or whatever. I do have a playlist with some Q&As and check-ins and things like that, so I will put that up in a card if you guys want to check it out. But without further ado, I feel like, get like this a little. There we go. Let's get started. Okay, and I'm not gonna like post people's questions or show their names because it is Facebook and it's their like actual names, so I'll just go through the questions and answer what I can. Okay, do you baby wear at all? What carry did you end up loving the most? I was big on baby wearing when Charlotte was definitely a newborn up through probably about nine months. I baby wore a ton. And then, I don't know, she started sitting at 6 months, but around 9 months is when I felt she was like really solid on her own, like sitting in a cart. And I mean, I had her in carts probably before then too, especially with the like cart cover thing I had, which was really cool. I think it's by Leech Co. On Amazon. But anyway, I really initially loved the Solly baby wrap when she was really tiny, and then I kind of went into the, oh, what is that one called? Mai Tai, is that right? The one that's like a baby wrap, but you don't have to tie it. I will put a link to it below, and I'll like write in what it is because I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. From like the 4 to 7 month period, and then around the 6 months I moved into my Lila baby, which is my absolute favorite, and it's the one I use to this day. I don't baby wear Charlotte very often anymore. I do at the airport because it's just for convenience. It's so much easier to get through security. You don't have to take a baby off if you're wearing them with a baby carrier that doesn't have like any metal on it, which the little baby doesn't have. And that's a soft structured carrier, an SSC, if you want the lingo. But that is the best. I love the lumbar support on it. It's great. I still haven't like figured out how to wear it with her on my back. She's big enough now, obviously, that I could do that. That's something you definitely do, especially as your kids get bigger. But I just find it so easy when traveling to have the little baby to get through security, and then also to get on and off the plane, because I have the backpack and usually I'm carrying some other things too. So it's nice to have my hands free. But yeah. I'm not against baby wearing her as a toddler. It's just, I don't know, it's just not something I've really done a lot, but I can see how people would. But I love the Lila baby, and I would wear it I didn't really know about it when Charlotte was a newborn, but I would use it from the newborn stage if we're blessed with another child, for sure, because you can use it. It has different ways to use it for different stages of babies and toddlers. Okay. How has your organization and weekly routine changed since having Charlotte? Well, obviously, my routines have changed quite a bit because they incorporate Charlotte as my priority. So a lot of my time is spent, I would say most of my waking time is spent with her, interacting with her, feeding her, cleaning her, taking care of her, you know, going on outings and adventures with her. That's my priority. So a lot of our routines are kind of based around her. When she's napping is when I'll do the bulk of my, you know, housework, paying bills, keeping up with stuff like that, and my content. And then those are very full days. I try to get my workouts in before she wakes up, and I try to be ready, absolutely ready for the day before she wakes up every day. So she wakes up usually between 6 and 7, usually closer to 7 lately, which is nice. So I usually wake up around 5 if I'm working out that day, or around 6 if I'm not, so I can get a full workout in and I should say, my shower and my get dressed and put my makeup on, because I like to have that all done before she's even awake. So that's kind of my me time, very first thing in the morning, and then after I put her down for the night, I'll finish up with any cleaning up from dinner and picking up toys and stuff that I need to do, finish up any laundry. I usually have laundry still going into the night. Laundry is just like endless, isn't it? Good thing I kind of like doing laundry. I actually like doing laundry and dishes, so it's kind of a good thing as a mom who's at home most of the time. Anyway, and some nights I will work on content, some nights I will work on, you know, personal memory keeping projects. Most of the time, I'm spending time with my husband, for a little bit at least. You know, we have our like us time, and then I have some time for me time some nights where I'll choose to take a bath, or we'll veg and watch something together on the TV, like Game of Thrones is what we've been watching lately. That's how so that's kind of how my days are, if that makes sense. That's the basic structure of my day. And my organization actually hasn't changed that much, but I glanced through these quickly and I saw that somebody else asked about that, so I'll address that in a little bit. You are very pretty, Jen. Oh, thank you. How do you manage to keep up with your beauty routine, your you time, while having a cute baby? Oh, well, I kind of addressed that already, but I do that. I wake up early to make sure that I get clean and ready for the day and have time to put on makeup and be all ready, because we are out the door like after breakfast. Most days we'll either go for a walk, we'll go with Winnie. I like to be all ready for the day. That's just my personality. I've always been a morning person anyway. So that's how I incorporate my me time. And also, you know, I could be doing work all night. I could be doing lots of other things, but most nights, especially lately, I let myself have a bath or veg and watch something with my husband on the TV, because I think having a little bit of R&R in your day, wherever you can squeeze it in, is important to feeling and then also looking good, because it, you know, whatever's going on inside reflects on the outside for sure. Let's see what else. How does Winnie react to Charlotte now that she's pretty mobile? Winnie has been so super patient and sweet with Charlotte ever since the beginning. She's not like hugely buddy with Charlotte. Like, she's just not, I don't think she's that kind of dog. Some dogs really love babies and little kids. I don't think Winnie's like that, but she does tolerate her very well, and she's very patient with her, and she always has been from the beginning. And right now Charlotte's in a real Winnie phase. She wants to pat Winnie all the time. She wants to be in her bed. She wants to be playing with her water stand and all of her toys, and Winnie's very tolerant of that. She'll let her pet her. She'll kind of she'll give up her bed and let her get in. You know, like, she's nice about it. She would never snap at her or be mean or anything like that. So I mean, that's the best I could hope for, so I think they get along really well. Any thoughts on the daily or weekly vlogging? Love your channel. Thank you. No thoughts on that right now. I know that's a bummer for some people, and it's a bummer for me too, you guys, because I do like doing those things. It just doesn't feel right now. Maybe in the future, you never know. But I have been putting up some travel vlogs and special vlogs I take every once in a while, here and there. So there have been some more vlogs lately, so I hope that helps. I don't know. I know you guys like the vlogs. So, do you plan on making more organizing videos in the future? I've been watching so many old videos lately and wondering how it differs now. I get a lot of questions about this, because this channel used to be organized like Jen, and it used to be just about organization, and then I kind of lumped it into, you know, all of my content into this channel, so it's kind of lifestyle stuff and mishmash of everything. And there hasn't been a lot of organization stuff lately, and I know that. And it's not because I don't want to share organization things. It's because honestly, I haven't reorganized anything in a very long time. I don't organize things in my house just for the sake of having content to show. Not that there's anything wrong with that, especially if that's like your shtick. Like, go for it. It's just not the way I function. I show you guys my actual life and like actual things that are happening. And if I'm not moved to reorganize something, it means that whatever organization system I already have in place is working. And honestly, things have been working really well. There's some definitely messy areas in my house. I wrote a whole blog post on this like a couple of weeks ago, which I'll link for you guys. I'll throw up in a card if you want to see it. But like my office is an absolute wreck right now. That needs attention. It just hasn't been time for that. Like I need to prioritize other things right now. That and the garage, I'm hoping to actually tackle the garage a little bit this weekend, but I'm just gonna be cleaning it. I'm not gonna be reorganizing it. So there's nothing really to show. There are a couple of bigger projects I hope to show this year. We had our mudroom completely redone. I have not had time to really get in there and finish like my actual sorting and everything and how I'm organizing it yet. But once I do, I will definitely share that. And I am considering doing some work in the kitchen as well. I did reorganize my kitchen. Like I did a whole thorough purging and resorting. And when all was said and done, I realized I hadn't really reorganized anything like dramatically from my last time I shared, except with the exception of like a couple of drawers where I swapped things out for some of Charlotte's stuff. So there is not really much to show, so that's why I didn't do a video on that. But if we do these bigger changes to the kitchen, I'll definitely show you guys. But again, that's probably a farther off project and one I'm just still in the consideration phase of. So I don't have much to show you. My bathroom's still organized the same. My closet and my drawers are the same. My bedside table's the same. Like the garage, like I said, it's the same. It needs to be cleaned out, but it's the same organization. The kitchen's virtually the same. Like there's nothing new to show you. I guess I could show you guys how I'm storing Charlotte's toys in our family room because we don't have a playroom. I don't think it's that interesting. Like it's not that innovative or like interesting, and a lot of the stuff we just leave out because she plays with it every day, but I can share that if you guys want to see. But I will tell you this, whenever I reorganize something and it is like a big enough difference that it makes sense to share it with you, I will share it with you, I promise. I just don't, there's nothing like huge calling out to me right now with the exception of the mudroom and my office, which just need big chunks of time, and we've just been doing a lot of traveling and there just hasn't been I just need more time to work on those things. So when I do, I will share them. But yes, I know I miss sharing that kind of stuff too, but I keep it real here. And I only show you what I really actually do in my house when I really actually need to. So there's that. Do you ever take any time for just you now that you're a mommy? I just talked about this. I do think, I mean, in the beginning when Charlotte was first born, I really didn't. Plus, as a newborn, they just need you so much more. I really didn't take a lot of time for myself, and I quickly realized that I was burning the candle at both ends, so to say, and I was just like running myself into the ground, ragged between trying to keep up with the baby and the house and my content and trying to like do it all and not giving myself adequate time to rest and not giving myself adequate time to just be me and do some of the things I really care for. So over the past few months especially, I've incorporated much more memory keeping, which is a passion project of mine. And quite honestly, a lot more nights that I just spend, you know, binging on YouTube videos while like soaking in the tub. Also more, you know, time with Dawn, trying to incorporate more of that. We finally found a sitter that we really like and trust. So we've gone on a couple of dates so far, which has been great. And you know, we're trying to, it's a process. So yeah, I am making time for myself. I do think it's important. I don't think it's selfish. I end up feeling much more balanced and happy, even though I'm so happy with my family life in my life right now, obviously. I still need to recharge, and I'm definitely the kind of person who needs alone time in addition to time one-on-one with Dawn, with Winnie, with Charlotte, like all these people that are so important in my life, right? Winnie's a person too, by the way. Winnie's my dog. She's not really a person, but you know what I mean. But having one-on-one time with me is even more important than ever. So even if that's only 20 or 30 minutes a day at the very end of the night, I take it. Or I wake up really early and I get a run in, and that counts too. So yes, definitely. What is the biggest risk you've ever taken? How did it turn out? Ooh, I like it. So the thing that jumps to mind, I don't think anybody's ever asked me this. The thing that jumps to mind immediately when I like just just let my brain go to something immediately, is how I transferred schools when I was in college. I started out at New York University, NYU, as a freshman. I got in there early decision. It was the only place I really wanted to go. Like, that's why I applied early. I committed early. At that time, when you did like early admission, you had to commit if you got in. I thought that's where I wanted to be. I don't know why I thought that, because I had been going to New York City multiple times a year since birth, basically, because my grandparents lived in downtown in the city. They have passed since, but I spent my childhood going to New York City, and I never really liked it, the city. Like, I loved visiting them, and it was so fun to like go to the museums and the park and all that, but it was just like the city just overwhelmed me. But for some reason, I really wanted to go to that school, and I was miserable my freshman year. First of all, and I'm not going to get too much into this, I know I've talked about it a little bit before and many years ago, but I think I was only at school for a couple of 2 or 3 weeks before 9/11 happened, and I actually heard the planes going over my dorm room, which was pretty close. You know, we weren't too far from I guess, I don't know, do they still call it Ground Zero, from the World Trade Center? So I actually heard the planes going over and ran over to a friend's room that had a window looking down Fifth Avenue. And we saw we could see what had happened, and it was very traumatic. So that was traumatizing to start as a freshman, have that happen, and then feel even more insecure and unstable in terms of like security and self, like groundedness. In a city, I didn't feel that way anyway. I have that on top of that. It was just really tough, and it was a very hard year for me emotionally, extremely difficult. And I made a very, very last minute, I would say rash decision at the very end of the year. Like, I had already committed, like I'd already like figured out with my friends at NYU, like where we were housing together and where we were gonna, like we'd already signed up for our dorm together, and like we had done this whole process. I was just so unhappy. And my boyfriend at the time, my like long distance boyfriend, went to University of Massachusetts, Amherst. And I had been over the past, over the year, I'd gone many a weekend. I'd taken the bus to visit him there. And I just fallen in love with the campus and how quiet it was, and how it was an actual campus out in the middle of nowhere, like rolling hills, beautiful Massachusetts foliage, and like I just loved being there. I just felt so much more at peace there, even though that relationship was a disaster and certainly was not healthy. I felt better at UMass, and it was such a last minute decision. I think it was a day before the deadline for transfer. I applied to transfer, and I got in, and I made a decision. I made like a spur of the moment decision to switch schools, and I started my sophomore year at UMass Amherst, and I was so much happier, you guys. It was a terrible relationship, like so unhealthy, and we ended up breaking up right at the beginning of that year, actually. And then Don and I started dating pretty soon after that, so fun fact for you guys. But anyway, went from a really unhealthy relationship to like a super healthy and stable one, which was nice. And also just being in such a better place for me, physically, emotionally. I was just so much happier. I was in a great program. I studied art history, was my major. A great small program. I got so much one-on-one time with my professors, whereas at NYU, it has great, it's a great academic place, but I had classes with mostly teaching assistants. Like, you rarely saw the professors. They were also like well-known and busy and researching, and you rarely saw them. I actually spent time with my professors at UMass, all very talented academics in their own right. And I made such nice friends, and I just was so much happier there. So that was definitely a big risk, because it was so last minute, and it was just like a complete 180. And also with the relationship in question, it was just like, is this really a good idea? But it ended up being a great idea. So wow, you guys, I'm already 20 minutes into this video, and I've answered like 5 questions. I'm sorry. Let's see. Well, should I do like 2 of these, you guys? I feel like there's so many questions, so it's gonna get so long. How about this? I'll answer a couple more questions, and then we'll see if I'll do another one or not. Or maybe I'll just split this one into 2, I'm not sure. What advice would you give to someone who has anxiety that is going through the pregnancy process? When I think about, My anxiety has just gotten 10 times worse since finding out, mostly when I think about life with baby once they're here. I have struggled with anxiety for most of my teenage and adult life. It's just been a process. I made a point of really specifically working on it before I got pregnant, because I knew that I wanted to feel just more solid and grounded before bringing a child into the mix, because I didn't want that to affect my parenting and to, you know, I just personally, it was like a really important thing to me. So I spent a lot of my mid-20s and my 20s basically kind of figuring that out through therapy, through a lot of introspection and self-work, and just a lot of really specific focused work. I found that I wasn't very anxious when I was pregnant. It was one of those surprising things that happened to me during pregnancy, was that I just felt a lot calmer and just like a lot more grounded. And I know a lot of that has to do with the very dedicated work I did up to that point, but I think a lot of it had to do with my hormones too. And I think your hormones can play a big part in flip-flopping you one way or the other. So I'm not sure I can really adequately speak to this. I feel so much more grounded since I was pregnant, and now, especially now, having a child. I feel even more like steady and just not, I just don't battle with the anxiety demon nearly as much as I used to. And I think having a baby has given me so much confidence as a woman, as a person, as a human, that I just feel so much more confident, and I think that's helped my anxiety a lot. So I'm not sure if I can answer this really well. I think you just have to trust your gut. You have to trust your instincts as a mom, and know that not everything's gonna go great, but as long as you're trying your best, that's the best you can do. I think for me, living, like really focusing on the present moment, not letting myself kind of get lost in thinking about the past or worrying about the future, is very important for me to keep the anxiety at bay. Just, take each day at a time and enjoy the day and find ways to make every day work for me, whether they're good days or not. And I mean, honestly, I suggest therapy. I think it's really great for anybody and everybody, regardless of, the things that you're struggling with, because we all have struggles. They're different for everybody, and some of them are similar for some people, but I would suggest giving it a thought. I like to do, I'm with a Jungian therapist, and that's working really well for me. There's different kinds of therapy. There's cognitive behavioral therapy. There's different things you can look for. I might start there, just as a friendly suggestion. It doesn't hurt to look around. It doesn't hurt to ask people you might know who have experience with therapists. It's been really helpful for me to have a safe person to talk to, especially one of my biggest barriers in life is feeling like I can't reach out and tell people when I'm down or mad or upset or whatever. I feel like I always have to be happy with everybody else all the time. So having a person I could talk to who's objective, who I don't feel like I have to please, has been really helpful for me in that. But I hope that you feel better and know that you're not alone. A lot of people struggle with anxiety, especially when they're pregnant and with children, and it's very common, and I think having somebody to talk to is a great start. And even if you're not comfortable with that, starting to journal out your anxieties, like to do kind of like an anxiety brain dump every night, might help too. That writing helps me a lot. So those would be my suggestions. But anyway, I hope that helps you a little bit. Oh, somebody's dying to know if we ski. Yes, we do. I have been skiing since I was a very little girl. I lived all over the country as a child, but I have many happy memories skiing in Pennsylvania when I was little, and we lived in Pittsburgh, and we did ski Tahoe a few times when I was older, and we lived in Northern California. And since since basically being engaged to Dawn and going out to Utah, basically every winter, I've definitely picked skiing back up Didn't ski while I was pregnant. Didn't get out this year either. More just from timing constraints with having the baby. But it's something I do enjoy. I'm not like super great at it. I'm not like a rock star skier by any means, but I'm definitely a lot more confident, especially since we've been going every year. It's not something we're like hugely passionate about. I love it mainly just to be outside on the mountain in the winter because it's like one of my favorite things ever. I don't have to be on skis to enjoy that, but I do like skiing. I'm a little bit of a nervous skier, but I'm definitely a lot more confident in recent years, and I can't wait to take Charlotte out. I'm thinking maybe this winter, we'll have to see, or this upcoming winter, how she is on her feet, but I remember skiing like my dad holding me basically between his skis, and I had these like tiny little skis, and I remember skiing like that and doing, you can do really simple like bunny slopes and stuff. So maybe this winter, we'll see. I can't wait to take her out though. Are you going to have another baby? A lot of people ask this. God willing. God willing. How are your New Year's resolutions turning out? I don't even remember them. But she did ask about time management. I do feel like I've been managing my time as well as possible. That was definitely a big focus, I suppose, of my New Year's resolutions. And I have been working on my memory keeping. I know that was another one, so that's good. I can't remember off the top of my head what my other ones were. Oh, how awful. This video is so dark, you guys. I'm sorry if I'm like Oompa Loompa orange. Anyway, I was only gonna answer like 2 more questions and I kept talking. Oh boy. Maybe I'll just cut this video off in the middle somewhere. How about that? I'll answer this and then we'll pick back up. So yeah, the time management. I think I talked a little bit about this in one of the first questions I answered about my days. They're very full days. I am very tired by the end of the day, but I feel so full, and I feel like I'm doing the best I can with my time and really spending it the way that makes the most sense to me right now. Like I said, #1 priority is one-on-one time with Charlotte, so that takes, top tier. Most of my waking hours are spent, playing with her, reading to her, feeding her, changing her, washing her, taking her for walks, taking her for errands out into the world. And that's how I want it to be. I am mommy #1. And then #2, I am housewife. So I am, spending what time I can, keeping the house as neat as possible. Most of the house is in pretty good order. My kitchen, my main floor is pretty clean all the time. I make sure to pick up after Charlotte every time she's done playing. I show her, I model to her how we put things away before we move on to something else, or before we go up for nap time or whatever, before she goes up for nap time. So I try to keep that as clean as possible. I'm cleaning my kitchen multiple times a day. So the first floor is pretty good. Like I said, the garage needs work, but our bedroom's pretty clean. Charlotte's room is basically like spotless. My office, the guest room, another story because I've got like so many baby things I need to sort through in the guest room that I just have like piled up that I need to either donate or save in the event that we are blessed with another child. My office needs attention. But anyway, I spend, I keep up with the laundry, I keep up with the bills, I keep up with all the house management stuff. And then also, making sure there's one-on-one time for me and Dawn every day. I think it's super important. And not just us like parked in front of the TV. I mean like actual, interacting time. And time with Winnie. Make sure she gets her walk every day, weather permitting. We only don't go out if it's really raining. And making sure I'm making time to brush her every day and give her cuddles and stuff like that. And then also what time I can, give to content and working on stuff like that. So, yeah. It's a full day, but I feel like I'm managing my time really well, and it's going well. It's full life right now, and I like it, and it works for my personality. I'm definitely a busy I like being busy, I like having things to do, so it works for me. It works for me. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna cut this here. I'm gonna do a part 2 that I will put up next week, because there's so many more questions and I want to answer some more, but this is already like a half an hour long. So thank you for watching. Thank you for asking questions. Stay tuned for part 2 if you want to see some more, and I will catch you over there. Bye, you guys. Take care.